Recently, I was asked about my decision to leave my corporate executive job and what the decision process was around that and how I came to that decision and what that was like. So I thought that I would address it here. I feel like I've spoken on this channel around what led up to it. It definitely wasn't something that happened immediately. It happened over time. Even though the signs were there and I was getting the signs that corporate America, being an executive leader in that environment was no longer a fit for me. It wasn't serving me well. I was getting those signs over a long period of time. But I was sticking with it because previously I've always been someone that as soon as it stopped fitting, I immediately bailed. I immediately jumped to something else, and usually quite drastically. This time around with my latest role, I made a promise to myself that I was going to push through. I was going to practice doing things that I didn't really want to do, doing it anyway. I've had the luxury as a solo woman of pretty much doing what I want when I want, kind of a thing. And I wanted to practice a higher level of responsibility and stick with something beyond it feeling fully like a full fit, if that makes sense. So I stuck with it longer than I normally would have. And then, as I've mentioned to you in previous videos, it just got to the point where the burnout, it was it was I don't know if it was life-threatening, but it was definitely health-threatening. My well-being was in jeopardy. My mental, emotional, physical well-being was all on the line, and that's what ultimately made me take a step away. Now, when I walked away from my corporate role, walked away in early 2022. I didn't have a backup plan because I was in no condition to make a backup plan because I couldn't. It would have been me jumping out of the frying pan into the fire kind of a thing if I had gone to a backup plan, because I wasn't seeing clearly enough to be able to figure out what was the best thing to do next. The only thing I wanted to focus on was healing and getting better and getting clear, which I did through my sabbatical. But I didn't necessarily plan to not get another job. I actually I explored some possibilities months later, a year and a half later, and it just didn't feel right. It just I knew that that wasn't what I wanted. When I established my anchors as being freedom and connection. I wanted the freedom time freedom, location freedom, and I wanted to be able to spend time with people that I know and love. So committing to a job that wasn't doing it for me in a place wasn't going to make that happen for me. So it was really clear that I needed to not continue down that route. So that was my decision. I just decided to leave and take a break and then figure it out. But it took a good year and a half ish of planning and preparing. I actually ended up, because before I made that decision, I had been house hunting in the area. I was looking to actually establish more roots where I was. This was right post pandemic. It was 2021. And I was looking to buy a house, and I tried to buy many houses. I put offers down on many houses, and it was a really tough market at that time. I was putting in very strong offers and kept getting, outbid or whatever. I just forgot what I was going to say with that. So I was looking to, but oh, I know what I was going to say. So the good news was that in preparing for that house hunting experience, I had money for my down payment. Like I had put together money that I was going to use for that house. And instead of using it for that house, I ended up using it for my sabbatical and whatever was going to come after. So that was a good place to start. It wasn't enough to like last a ton of time, but it was definitely a good start. And I made a lot of preparations and did a lot of thought in preparing for the sabbatical. But what was challenging during that time is, remember, I'm saying I was at my lowest at that point, so physically, mentally, emotionally. So I had to really manage my energy very, very carefully during that time. I still had a very important job that I was getting paid good money to do. I needed to achieve certain things, so I still needed to perform and needed to prepare for my exit. So I had to build in rest. I had to rest when I needed to. I needed to like work, figure out how I was going to go all in. Like when I was quote clocked in, when I was working and doing my thing, I was giving 150%. And then I would have to take time to crash and to do self-care and get a lot of massages and go see a lot of movies and like decompress. I didn't do a lot of the stuff that I later enjoyed doing in my sabbatical, like the more active, more out in nature kind of stuff. I'm more like, it was more of a band-aid of comfort. So how do I temporarily comfort myself to get through so I'm still performing in this job? The other thing that I did within that job was, one of the things I loved to do was to develop people. I loved to help lift up other people, especially women, uh, help them achieve their goals and their next level of success. So I worked really hard to sort of prepare for my exit through my people, getting them situated and giving them opportunity and helping them achieve great things. Uh, like the better we all were, like it wasn't gonna like make a difference when I left. I wanted to set everybody up uh, for success for after I left. So that was the whole like walk away experience. When I put in my notice, it was such a big relief. Like it was just such a huge weight. I instantly felt lighter and happier right away. And that was a sign that I was doing the right thing for sure. So when I was asked this question recently, I was also asked, like, what would I say to someone who's at that crossroads right now, that they know that they need to leave, but they're scared of what comes next? I would say that being on the other side of that, when you're on the other side of it, looking back, it's hard to fully understand why you were so scared. Have you ever had that kind of a situation before where you're scared about something and then after you faced it or after you've done it, you look back and you're like, why was I nervous about that? Why was I scared about that? Where was that anxiety coming from? It's a similar kind of a thing, like this sense of confidence that it's all going to work out. And if you don't feel that way, make sure you have somebody in your life who does feel that way. Sometimes the people closest to you actually make it harder for you because they're scared for you too. So they're not necessarily in the best state of mind to be able to provide that. Don't worry about it. You've got this. We've got this. It's all going to work out. So make sure you've got someone in your life that's helping with that to give you that sense of confidence and support. And then beyond that, I would say that you need to take some time out. Oh, like, oh. Just lost one of my lights. You need to take some time out to really think about what is it that feels right for you for this next season. What do you want to do? What is going to feed you? What is going to fill you up and fuel you as opposed to drain you? I've been sharing that over and over and over on this channel. Hopefully you're getting it. Hopefully you're getting it that you got to take a break, you got to get quiet before you can figure it out. And no regrets. You're not making a final decision that can never be tweaked or evolved or changed. You can change your mind at any time. So there's no fear in that. When I look back, was that a great decision for me to leave? Absolutely. My only regret is that I didn't do it much, much, much sooner. I wish I had fully embraced this path of being a creative entrepreneur now in the digital space, like using my skills and my talents and my knowledge to help other people. I wish that I had stuck with it and done that years and years ago. So that's the only regret that I have. Although, like, my corporate career gave me a lot, obviously. It gave me a lot of marketable skills that helped me to support myself. So I'm very, very grateful for that. What surprised me about life after corporate America, life after being a corporate executive, the further I got away from it, and I would look back on my corporate experience and the things that I've done and the things like just who I became. The more I realized I was putting on a mask, I was putting on a facade most of that time. I was very rarely able to be my full, true, authentic self. And I mean, I guess I think I suspected that, but I didn't really, really know it for sure. But once I left and the further I got from it, the more that became very clear. I felt like I was trained and conditioned to operate in a certain way and to be and like the meaning of being a leader meant certain things and the meaning of being successful in business meant certain things. And I wanted to compete, I wanted to achieve, I wanted to climb the ladder, and I felt like following those rules and getting really good at it is what was going to get me there. But now I see how vastly out of alignment that all was with me, and that being out of alignment to that degree is what caused my burnout and my angst and my lack of fulfillment and my unwillingness to experience joy. So that's been surprising to learn. So in a nutshell, that was my experience as I exited my corporate career, and I don't know what else is going to come next, what path I'm on, but I'm enjoying each step that I'm taking. So I wish that for you as well, regardless of what it is. My name is Amy Palmer. Please remember to follow, like, and subscribe to this channel. I want to make more and more connections with Gen X women like yourself. I am your Gen X big sister, signing out.